Alright, welcome in everyone. So what's on my mind this morning? I'm driving to work, listening to the radio. I end up on the political channel because people are calling in, which sometimes it's interesting to listen to them talk and see what people have to say. What ended up being on my mind is is the word party. And where else in our society do we see that word being used? Like, when we're listening to a political thing, it's all about what party you're going to vote for. What party are you? What party are you? Your party affiliation. And then how you fit into that party, right? So that's sort of like defines your life a little bit, right? Also defines your thoughts. And so where else are we seeing this conditioned? Like where else do you join a party? Well, you go to somebody's house who's having a party, you're joining a party. What do you do when you get to that house party? You have to conform to the rules of the party, you're going to get kicked out. Same thing with the political party. And even the word part, is it I might be reaching a little bit on that one, but like if we're apart, apart, to divide. I just started thinking about how many times, like in society, are you joining a party? When you go into a restaurant, is that a party? Well, if you have like 3 people, they say party of 3, party of 5. So it's when you go into a restaurant, when you go into a bar, you're conforming to the rules of the party going on there. Because I was thinking too, some thoughts crossed my mind of like back in school, in grade school even. It was like 2nd or 3rd grade, they had us putting on these mock elections, political elections, right? I remember it was like George Bush and maybe Bill Clinton at the time. We ran through a voting thing. Like we had a 2nd or 3rd grade election. And it was just a reflection of basically who their parents were voting for, but it was like even in that young mindset, it was like, well, we're joining a party, we're affiliating with a party, choosing a party based on, the criteria for our choices at that time. It was kind of an active thought in my brain, so I haven't really seen it all through to fruition, but this isn't exactly something I haven't thought about before. But while I'm on the way to work listening to the political party conversation, I just thought it might be interesting to share. Think about it. It's basically this political system and party affiliation is like, it's all part of this conditioning. This whole society is to condition these political, tribal, fucking party choices. And what is our society? Like alcohol-based party culture. Malls, strip malls and bars and apartment buildings, Just, it's odd to listen to it. It's like, what do we got? The callers were calling in and they're scared because the media pumps out basically a really loud message that, well, everybody loves Kamala because she's woke and for equality, and the other side pumps out the message, well, they're lying about everything, and Trump is standing up is a patriotism figurehead. So it's like they give you both of these puppets on both sides for you to pick your party. Which one are you going to have a better time with? And hopefully you can convince people at one party to, hey, that party sounds lame, man. Come over to this party. These chicks are way hotter. These dudes are way cooler. it's just a weird ass society where it's like we're the basic functions, like the belief mentality is used, like you actually even, and then you believe in those parties, you attach to them, they become part of your, like I said, you can be described by your party affiliations. And people do it. Like even they ask you your political stance. Well, they're asking what party do you align with. When they ask you about your social life, they ask, well, do you party? Okay, well, what kind of parties do you go to? So, geez, what is a team of people? You know, they have a party, so we're having a team party. It's this whole thing is like, geez. But regarding the Trump versus Camellia conversation, it's like, how come there's no other like party being talked about? Callers are calling in and being like, gosh, this person is like terrible, but they really hate Trump. So it's like we're concerned that just based on their hatred for Trump and the media's presence, they're just going to vote against Trump and we're going to lose again. And this is a legitimate concern, actually, if you were all in a legitimate constitutional republic democracy type of thing, where your vote actually matters and it's not being cheated. Why aren't they being like, okay, well, maybe we can find a third person here? But no, you can't do that. It's always the result of two parties. You can't. What is an interesting question? What team sport out there are more than one team competing in the championship at the same time? It's usually always like red versus blue, for example. I'm trying to think in my head at the moment, like what team sports out there are they all competing at this? I guess you could say like maybe gymnastics and like team cheering, stuff like that, but that still usually comes down to a final two. Or no, sometimes. I think they often do like top five. It's been a while. I used to see a girl that was in gymnastics, and so that they did like competitive stuff, and I learned a little bit about it, but I don't remember all of it. So I would say the at least default idea is that it's one team versus the other for the championship. There aren't multiple teams competing at the same time. Maybe like cross country, you could say that. Cross country is one of them. Anyway, there are out there, but the main thing is you guys get what I'm going for, at least. Whether the sports metaphor fits exactly every time or not. Let's see. A lot of karmic stuff going on lately. I know I recently talked about that for anybody who's not just tuning in. I did an episode about observing your karma. That was actually really interesting. And man, it actually like, because if I scroll back a little bit, it's like Kev wrote these focus papers and we were going through those, and it triggered this event where it was like, the whole paper was about a self-assessing process, and it was like it triggered something to happen where it's like, oh man, this XYZ doesn't have a self-assessing process, and the karmic outcome of just putting that self-assessing lesson out there has been really interesting to follow. And then I was even thinking about this, you know, it was like, it's one of those moments where it's like you come to this realization, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see it. This data's coming through to me. You know, the truth, reality, seeing yourself, all that thing. Like, a lot of people just call it walking in the now, just knowing what's happening. It aligned with, sorry, I gotta turn. It aligned with another point when we did that self-assessing process paper, like I was saying. So we have the synchronicities happening. So there's message coming through. And when I did the episode about the karmic outplay coming thing, it triggered more process. And that week that I did that, it was like, man, I just in feeling like in spirit, it was like riding thermals, like an eagle just soaring. Like you don't have to do any work and everything around you is just lifting you higher. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, just you can go up, you can go down. It's just so effortless. It's like, and that's been carrying through to this week too. It's like, I don't want to get too tied up on my experience here because I experience things that most people just don't. So yeah, maybe I'll just kind of leave it there because I don't want to get too into like details on this experience. But it's going to be really interesting to talk to Kevin again. He's still alive. Still don't know where he's been. I suppose I could always ask. But when you have an international man of mystery, I mean, what's the point in trying to figure out the mystery? Never gonna know. So, alright, I think I'm just gonna leave you all with that because I gotta park and get some stuff here from the store. So, I hope you all have an excellent Friday, nice weekend. Well, not all of you. Some of you don't deserve to have good things because you don't bring good things into the world. So, your karma will handle itself, as it always does. Alright, everyone. Adios.